Hey there and welcome. So if you've ever even thought about investing in property, you know the research part can be, well, a total nightmare. Today we're going to dive into how new technology is completely changing the game, turning all those hours of stress into just minutes of pure clarity.
Does this feel familiar at all? You know, you're lying awake at night, you've got a dozen tabs open, and you're just trying to figure out if you're making the right call. That feeling of being totally stuck? Yeah, you're not alone. It's incredibly common.
And wow, this quote, it just nails it, doesn't it? Because it's not just about numbers on a page. It's about that very real, gut-wrenching fear of risking your financial future on one single decision. I mean, the stakes just couldn't be higher. And all of this leads to a problem that actually has a name: analysis paralysis. It's that feeling of being so swamped with information that you just freeze. You end up doing nothing at all, just watching great opportunities sail right by. This image right here, this is the perfect picture of the old way of doing things. You're drowning in spreadsheets, you've got endless tabs open, and the sheer mind-numbing pain of due diligence is just, it's exhausting. Honestly, it's a recipe for burnout and for missing critical details.
Okay, let's just feel this for a second. The process kicks off with an absolute avalanche of information. You're jumping between more than 20 different websites, and each one is its own little rabbit hole. And you've barely even started.
And from there, you're trying to piece together this giant disconnected puzzle. You're grabbing crime stats from one place, flood maps from another, school zones, market trends, future development plans. It's just a huge mess. And after all that, if you still have any energy left, you're faced with trying to find some nugget of gold hidden inside a dense 70-page council report. It's almost impossible to be sure you haven't missed some critical red flag that's buried deep on page 53. This number, it's not just a number. It represents the story of one investor's first property purchase. He remembers the sheer panic of it, clutching this messy folder of research, just terrified he'd missed one tiny detail that could cost him everything. That feeling, that's what we're trying to fix. So, naturally, what do? You turn to an expert for help, right? You hire a buyer's agent. But, as we're about to find out, that's not always the silver bullet you'd hope for.
First off, let's talk about the cost. You're looking at a pretty hefty fee, usually somewhere between $12,000 and $20,000. That's a huge chunk of change before you've even put a dollar down on the property itself.
And here's the real kicker. How do you really truly know that their recommendation is the absolute best one for you? You're basically putting all your trust in another person's research, which, let's be honest, can be colored by human bias, a process you can't see, or even their own network and incentives.
So where does that leave us? Well, this is where the solution comes in. And it's not about replacing humans, it's about giving them superpowers. AI is quickly becoming the property investor's new secret weapon, their unfair advantage, giving them the clarity and confidence they've been missing. So how does it actually work? Well, it's pretty incredible. First, it does all the heavy lifting, gathering all that scattered data in seconds, not days. Then, it does what the human eye really struggles with. It spots those subtle hidden red flags across all those different sources. It can even give you a portfolio vision to see how a new property might fit with what you already own. And the end result of all this? The one thing we're all after: genuine peace of mind.
Okay, let's get really specific. Imagine a tool that can instantly scan all those websites we talked about. It can analyze demographic trends, flag any flood or fire risks. It can even take that 70-page report and summarize it for you, pulling out the one sentence on page 42 that matters. It can even help estimate potential repair costs. I mean, that is a complete game changer.
All right, so let's have a little showdown. We're going to put these methods head to head: the old manual way, hiring an expert, and using these new AI-powered tools.
And this visual just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got our stressed-out friend doing it all manually. In the middle, there's the buyer's agent. You get professional help, sure, but it costs a lot and you still have to trust their judgment. And then on the right, you have AI-powered tools, just streamlining the whole entire process.
This table really boils it all down, doesn't it? Manual research is painfully slow and full of your own biases. A buyer's agent is faster but super expensive and still comes with that human bias factor. And then you've got AI-powered tools, lightning fast, highly objective, and way more cost-effective. The difference is just night and day.
I absolutely love this metaphor because it just clicks. Doing research manually is like trying to navigate a new city with an old folded paper map. You'll probably get there eventually, but it's slow and you might make a wrong turn. AI tools are like having a live GPS. It instantly shows you the fastest, smartest route and warns you about traffic jams or accidents up ahead. But hold on, this isn't about letting a computer make one of the biggest decisions of your life for you. Not at all. The real magic, the winning formula, happens when you combine this incredible technology with actual human wisdom.
And look, all of these fears are totally valid. Am I missing something? Can I really trust this data? What if my advisor gets it wrong? Can I really just trust a computer? It's so important to acknowledge these because they are very, very real concerns.
And that brings us to the most important point of all. Think of it this way. AI gives you superhuman scanning ability. It sees and connects dots way better than any person ever could. But you still need an experienced human to look at that data, interpret it, build a strategy around it, and, most importantly, personalize it to your life and your goals.
And when you bring those two things together, the tech and the wisdom, you get this incredible emotional shift. You finally move away from that constant nagging anxiety of what if, and you land in a place of confidence where you can say, I know this is the right move.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. As you plan your next investment, is your move truly backed by comprehensive, unbiased data, or is it really just based on a gut feeling and a bit of hope? Because the tools to actually know for sure, well, they're here now.